All right. Welcome back, folks, to Age of Lemuria. What is this, episode 21, 22? Ooh, it's getting up there. It's coming towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
One way
And
or the other.
the final act.
The final acts. I'm curious on what you guys' plans are here at the end of all things. I mean, what's your goal, Hunk Papa, for Ulfgar?
Hopefully to stop the exile from raising his army on the surface. But that's not a main concern for him. His primary concern is going to be keeping this gem safe, the Tear of God, and finding a way to return home soon.
Excellent. Excellent. Leah, we're having a bit of technical problems with you, but it's okay. What's Ava's plan here at the end of all things?
Ava definitely wants to stop the undead. She's also still in the back burner of her mind, wondering what's going to happen with the rebellion. She's also sort of thinking about the future, realizing that maybe going home's not quite an option. She's sort of in a state of transition, not quite sure what she's doing or what she wants to do, but knows that her immediate goal is to stop the hordes of the undead.
So I'll set up the scene. On the turtle ship, iron-cladded warship made by the Inquisition, a strange and foreign design of the people here. We see what appears to be like smugglers who are like taking care of cargo, putting cargo on and off. We see Captain Brute like giving orders to his men. And we get a cutscene of us going down into the third level of the warship. And we see Ulfgar, Ava, a direwolf, Spark, and Alu. They are all sitting together, talking. What is it that they're discussing?
I assume our next destination and how we're going to go about getting there. Ulfgar?
Yep. We need to get the ship upriver, so we're discussing how we're going to go about getting the ship up. We know that the ship is much too shallow for the ship to get through, but Ulfgar would like to try manipulating the riverbed and the waters to force the ship through.
I think we just need one good long continuous wave. So as we go along, we ride the crest of the wave, and that'll get the ship high enough off of the ground or the river, the floor of the river, to be able to go through without causing too much of a trouble.
Ulfgar thinks it's going to be slow work, that's fairly unlikely for a metal vessel to be able to ride a wave, as it were, especially considering how massive the ship is, that there's a high chance that we will run aground since the riverbed is so shallow. But he can manipulate the earth underneath the ship and spread out the riverbed as we try.
Is that the plan?
We also need to train the crew on how to operate the cannon. This is going to be quite obvious that there is a giant metal ship traveling up a very small river. We may attract some unwanted attention as we travel, but Ulfgar still thinks that a vessel like this would be an invaluable base of operations for trying to take out the undead hordes coming from Fort Mulg.
You currently have a boat, a small barge attached to the vessel.
we could anchor the main boat off the river and take the barge up. I know Ulfgar knows that the boat will make the trip up. That's how he's traversed the river in the past.
Alright. But do we trust the rest of the crew to be able to defend? Or even not just ditch us and take it?
Well, currently, they don't know how to control the ship. We're the only ones who know how to control the ship. All they would need to know is how to fire the cannons and reload. Once we set anchor, they're not going to be able to figure out how to move the ship back and forth along the water.
You're also going to have to leave this stone as well. Unless you want it to sink. Is that something that you're willing to do, Ulfgar?
Well, if we take the primary boat upriver, it's not going to sink if he takes the gem with him.
So what are you guys going to do with the barge?
Well, the idea was for Captain... The deal that we made with the captain was to use the ship as a home base for the smuggling operation. So the barge should be captained by a skeleton and go about its business until we can recruit more members.
Interesting. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's see if this is manageable. Give me a luck roll. Die 100. Let's see if it is manageable.
Oh, brother.
This looks pretty good. You just need to roll. You just need to roll.
A 98% chance.
The odds. The odds. So the crew, right? You require 12 men to crew the warship. That is the entire crew of the barge. So the captain's like, well, we need to do something. Do something either with the barge or with the warship. You need to just roll 99.
Should we break the barge down for materials?
But then you would be
That's a hell of a persuasion.
trapped upon the big ship.
I mean, it's not going to be very feasible for us to tow the barge behind us. We could try, but it's not going to be all that helpful to tow dead weight behind us.
Roll me a persuasion as you're trying to let's just break down the barge. One. How's the odds of 1? All right, so it begins. I'm liking where this is starting.
Yeah, no.
So you're like, let's just break down the barge, and the captain's like, Captain Brute's like, that's my home for the past 20 years. We're not breaking down any barges there. He shakes his head in disagreement and says, no, we're not doing that.
With the hope of Alu, could we use a smaller crew for the barge?
You know that it will require all the men aboard the barge in order to man the warship. Well, I mean, they're getting used to it, right? And they won't have enough to man the barge.
Then I guess we're towing it.
Yep. Amazing. I'm loving these dice rolls tonight, guys. I'm loving these dice rolls. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right. I believe that's where we get a scene, right? We have the barge being towed behind this massive warship. Ulfgar, what are you doing? And Ava, what are you telling Alu?
Telling her to
break down the mechanics for me. What are each of you doing?
So she's using control water to gather water beneath the ship to have it sit higher. than usual. So it'll be higher, not as likely to scrape against the bottom. And I assume Ulfgar is making the bottom go down or out so that it's slightly deeper. So combining the two efforts, they'd be able to go along the river without bottoming out.
Excellent. So the question is, who is doing survival?
Ulfgar will be directing the boat,
Yep.
as
And
he
I
needs to
will
stay at the head of the
assist.
boat to keep our pathway clear.
So Ulfgar, you are busy dredging out the vessel, right? Dressing out the riverbed.
Right.
So that leaves Ava to do survival rolls.
I guess it does.
Yep. Because this is taking your entire focus, Ulfgar. This is taking Alu's focus as well as you up the river. So, Ava, would you like to do the honors of rolling that sweet, sweet survival as you begin descending or ascending up the river?
Yeah, there you go.
Excellent. Go ahead and place yourselves as we begin our trek. A big portion of the map is revealed to you. Open waters.
I assume this is the river we're going up, right?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You have to go up. Yeah. You meet like
You're
a
moving it
delta.
too much.
Yeah. You meet like a delta, right? And there's several like waterways and treks. You luckily, Ava, with your cunning and wisdom, you easily direct Ulfgar and Lu how to dredge out a path. And you are very successful. Are you guys going to continue through the night, or are you guys going to anchor off?
Are we just in the delta?
Oh, you
still?
guys are just in the delta. Right. Don't forget you guys are going upriver, not down. If you
Yeah.
were going downriver, you'd do double the movement. If you were going upriver, you technically are doing half. But I'm just making it one day at a time.
I think it makes sense that we have to rest for the night, but what does Ulfgar think?
I'll just push on. Take the level of exhaustion.
He's the one that's been doing all the work at the front of the vessel. So
That is true. Ulfgar, what are you doing? What is it that you're doing that makes a pathway?
He, through the power of Gaia, has learned to shape the earth to his will. It is not... he's not able to do it constantly at will, not in a large scale, but in a small scale. So he is using the Mold Earth spell to trudge out portions of the riverbed ahead of us to shape the pathway for the boat. Now, as the boat glides past after some time, the way behind the boat begins to form back into where it was to begin with.
Yep. Together with Lu, who kind of like does like this little water disc that lifts up the ship just enough to bypass the reefs and debris that is collected here. That night, you guys moor off. Roll me that sweet, sweet survival as night comes to. In the distance, you see the kingdom of Alkaline, or the city of Alkaline. Its iron throne still visible from your location. Ever-looming presence. Who's rolling survival?
is Ulfgar.
That's a good
If
question.
he's able to, he will.
Yeah. Like you guys are anchoring off. So you guys are trying to find like a good place to rest.
And I will assist him.
Excellent.
Not that that matters.
You guys are fine.
Hmm.
You guys are fine. Thank God you have a +7. Anyways, That night, nothing eventful happens. What do you guys do in the morning? Same deal?
Before the night ends, Ulfgar is going to spend some time communing with the ancestors and looking over the claw of God.
Excellent. Roll it.
Oh.
Oh,
It's not enough.
It's close, though. So close.
Can I use my inspiration to give me 1 point in that?
Is that something that you'd like to do, Ulfgar? Would you like
Yes,
to burn your
he would.
inspiration this
He
early?
would burn
Okay.
inspiration.
All right, Ulfgar. I'm going to give it to you just because it's getting towards the end. Give me a second. There it is. Copy and paste that. For so long, it's eluded you. I can't believe that you... I'm allowing it. I'm allowing it. Just because it eats up a resource of yours. Save. You may read now.
So how would this work with the lore?
I don't know. You tell me. I think this is where we get like Ulfgar and the ancestors, right? We get this scene with the ancestors kind of like floating around, seeking out knowledge, right? And you're holding on this claw, right? This claw that you've had from the very beginning, right? There's been so many secrets held within this. And then you finally realize, your eyes widen and realization.
So can this be grafted onto a dwarf then with the lore?
It cannot. Unless you consider yourself draconic.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Are like it goes really far back into the lore. Are they actually the like the dragon scales of Gaia? And the once per month, is that only active? Is that to activate the ability, or is that just to graft?
It's to activate the ability. It summons her. I believe you've experienced this once before.
Yep. Kind of figured that it would have this ability from what he's seen in the past.
Oh dear.
Unfortunately, its power does not pertain to poor Ulfgar.
Nope. But it explains a little bit more about why the Green Clan wants it so bad.
Ulfgar finally realizes why.
That's all he's gonna do for the night, for the morning.
Excellent. The night passes by uneventfully. In the morning, what do you guys do?
Set sail, I suppose.
Excellent. Roll it, Ava.
Come on.
Yes. Natural 1, baby. Natural 1. That's what I'm looking for. A roll that.
It's a lot more possible.
Yeah, Mr. 1 on a D100 roll.
hey, it's amazing. I love it as it starts, guys.
There were no modifiers with that one.
Yeah, I guess there were no modifiers. yeah. It's excellent. It's a beautiful day, right? The sun is shining. You guys are sick and tired of rain. It's about damn time. The sun is shining. Birds are chirping and singing. It's a lovely, wonderful day. Go ahead and place yourself as you move up the river. Everything seems fine. It's a beautiful day. Everybody seems to be in a good mood and cheerful.
We need to... Wolfgar is going to try to show the crew how to work the cannons.
Here we go again.
Sure.
He's not going to fire anything.
Roll me an intelligence roll. As you try to
Wolfgar
explain.
attempting to teach... What is this, like the 4th or 5th time?
Yeah.
Oh!
It's been a couple of days now. They've had some time to allocate themselves on the ship.
Yeah. For the past 2 days, right? The crew's been acclimating towards their duties on the ship and vessel. And it's been working out pretty well. Like, they've been, like, training, right? They're finally figuring out how to arm and work the cannons, right? They quickly take account, right, of their equipment and how much firepower they have on board. They take a total of 50 shots. That's how many shots they have. You have currently used 2 of them.
We need to start figuring out how to make the pitch.
It's one problem that you may have to figure out on your own. You will require an alchemist kit or something in order to do this. Or hire an alchemist. If only you knew where one was. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. Is anybody doing anything special? I think it's easy going, right? I think Ulfgar and Ava actually have like time for like a little bit of free time, right? Like you actually find like a decent channel, right? Well, you guys have a little bit of free time, like about an hour's worth. What do you guys do?
I guess Ava will ask Ulfgar what he plans to do to secure the aid of the elves.
Well, in my experience, even the elves value a bit of coin. I should probably speak with the old potato and see how he's doing. Whether the ranks of the dead have reached his forest yet or not.
From what I know, the elves would certainly not enjoy the ranks of the dead on their doorstep.
Alas, no living thing would.
Do you think that would be enough to get them to fight with us?
Ulfgar laughs at this. Fight? No, lass. They will not be fighting with us. They will be trading with us, perhaps, but they will not come to our aid. They will not fight.
So are we on our own?
Wolfgar nods.
Uh-huh. Ava's definitely unsettled at this. She sort of looks around their skeleton crew of smugglers and their 2 dogs and her random child that now exists. And she thinks about the monster they faced below the farm, and after they'd run from the horde to the dead, that somehow managed to kick their butts really badly. And she's definitely uneasy. She'll sort of stare out at the water and break off the conversation.
About this time, Wolfgar's going to send some messages.
Excellent.
With his time.
Who are you saying it to?
First, he's going to send it to Spud, and then he's going to send it to some people in Raven.
You get no reply from Spud.
Do I know if he's alive?
He is dead.
Ooh.
He shares this with the crew and the captain.
They take it. They're like, we've heard of the Archdruid. We never met him before. Our dealings was with the Spy Master. We knew of him, but never met him.
Ulfgar explains privately to the captain that he tried sending a message ahead of us, and it appears that he has died. And if the Archdruid has died, then that might mean the undead forces have broken through to the elves.
He says, how do you know this?
Oh, brother. A potato flew around.
Do you describe Potato? As you were saying, Hunk Papa.
He's going to tell the captain privately that if the Archdruid is dead, he was the protector of the forests. The undead must have already reached the elves, and we may not find their...
He says, do you know this?
He does not know this for sure, but he knows that the Archdruid is dead.
Do you scribe Potato?
He does not have the ability to, I don't think. Let me check
when you
again.
met him, did you? You knew that he was coming to the end of his life cycle. Spud.
Could he... Well, we'll have to do that the next day, but he could always try and send a message to the Spy Master that he...
That is true.
But that was one casting of the spell. For the next casting of the spell, he is going to send a message to Ravenshaven.
Excellent. And what message are you saying to Ravenshaven? Oh no, are we DCing again?
No, I'm looking up something.
All right. It's like, oh no, everybody stopped. And what message are you sending? There we go. And to whom?
He had previously sent a message to Bar the Hunter and Ranger Elidora. He's going to send this message to Ranger Elidora.
Excellent. What message are you sending?
I will type it up. In the meantime, come back to me.
Excellent.
I'll let you know.
Excellent. Ava, what are you doing during your hour?
After the conversation with Ulfgar, she sort of is staring off out at the river and at the landscape. Besides, thinking about the threat they have to face and if they're going to be enough.
I think this is where like Alu comes up to you and she like taps your helmet and she's like, "That's very pretty. Where'd you get that from?"
I'll sort of give her a smile because it's nice to be distracted from the morbid thoughts. And she'll say, "Oh, it was a gift from my brother before I set out. He made it for me before he was considered a master blacksmith."
It is truly blessed.
I agree, though I know not how he could have pulled something off like this.
Let's see if she knows.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Blessed by some celestial, no doubt.
You'll sort of be taken aback by that. Because they're from a small town, and she knew that she already got in way of her head, but she didn't realize her brother had contact. So she'll turn to Arlo. She says, "Can you tell at all what kind, or just that it is celestial in nature?"
She shakes her head no. She says no, other than it's touched by an otherworldly gift. Something your brother did pleased them.
Yeah. That definitely unsettles Eva even more. Because she has a perception of who she is and where she's from. And this now, it's a bit of a crack in that perception. And so she'll try and shake her head and get her mind off of it for at least a moment. And she'll ask Alu how the journey is going and if it's being too strenuous for her.
She says, "I don't like the men looking at me all the time." I think this is where you like look over and you like see the men like always like every so often like out of the corner of their eyes staring at Alu.
So Ava will frown, sort of look around to see if Spark is nearby.
I think he's like, you know, like there's like a little rope area, like a little bedding of rope, and he's sitting in, and he's like chewing on a bone.
Right, so she'll sort of walk over and kneel next to him.
You hear the constant thump, 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 thump of a happy tail waggle as he's like, as he's crunching on his bone.
Yeah, she'll give him a little scritch. And sort of indicate the man who's staring at Arlo and tell him when they get like that, she wants him to growl or nip to try and get them to snap out of it.
Sure, roll me a handle animal as you're commanding him to, I believe, protect Alu, right?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Correct.
Woo.
I think like the Feyhound, right? The Feyhound like like smiles at you, right, knowingly, and like nips like one of the nearest sellers in the butt, and the guy like ah, and he's clearly brought out of his enthrallment of Alu, right? He's like, damn dog bit me. It's like, you need to take better care of your animals and teach them how to treat your fellow man properly.
So Ava will turn to him and say, and you need to figure out how to stay focused on your job better.
Says, I'm a lookout. He's clearly not a lookout.
Does Ulfgar notice any of this?
No, you're sending messages. You're sending
It's interesting that you're looking out for threats on the ship rather than...
Yep. I think, yeah, Alu has a protector of sorts. I think the Feyhound, understanding you completely, is a little guard dog for Alu. And you. Yeah. I think, like, at supper time or whatever, like, some men are, like, staring at your butt, right? As you walk by, and the dog, like, growls at them, and they're like, oh, nope. Yeah. So you have this little guard dog that keeps the men in check. Keeps the wily sellers in check. Yeah. Anything else that night?
I don't think Ava has the knowledge to investigate any kind of celestial stuff. She'll probably stare at the helmet for a little while.
It's just a mastercraft item. It does have a flashlight attached to it.
Ulfgar would like to fashion some of the demon plate into barding for the direwolf, if you can.
Roll it. Although this will be at disadvantage because you do not have the equipment necessary for this.
What kind of check do you want it to be? Do you want it to be a smithing check, or what do you want it to be?
Well, it would be like leather work, right? It's skin.
What stat is it based off of? Those? Is it going to be off of strength? Is it going to be off of...
Definitely intelligence. Because you're crafting something. This is a wizard thing. It's a wizard thing. Let me copy and paste this.
If Ava notices it all, she would try to help.
You make it resemble it, right? You make it just normal. Ava, you are helping? You are aiding? Tell me how you are aiding Ulfgar.
Well, she sees what he's trying to do. She's sort of standing over his shoulder, maybe giving advice or like holding it as he tries to measure the direwolf, like, you know, because he probably can't reach all the way around.
I think like Ulfgar is distracted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you like bring him back, right? He's like talking to someone and like just random person that you don't see in front of you, right? He's just talking to somebody and he's not paying attention to his work. And I think you come up and like, Ulfgar, come back. And then he like snaps out of it, right? And he like looks at you and his eyes clear. And then he like looks down at this like mesh of demon hide and he's like, oh. And then you're like, here, let me help you. And together, you, by working together, you find a mastercraft demon, large, for the direwolf. The direwolf's not proficient in it. Is that something that you want to continue with?
Would you be able to use animal handling rolls to try and teach it to be?
Probably not within the game sessions. That is a lot. But it is something that you could start. Is that something that you wish to do?
Hold on, I'm trying to see.
It'd be barding. That's what it'd be considered. Be just
I'm
like
trying
a
to see what the
horse.
penalties would be for.
Not proficient.
Yeah.
It's like disadvantage on attack rolls and stuff, but he has advantage on attack rolls. Assuming that you're on top of him. Without proficiency. So it kind of cancels out.
Right.
It's a normal attack. It's a knoll hound, not a warhorse. Although it could be trained. It could definitely be trained. You have to spend some time on it. Now, I don't know where you're going to find the time.
In 2 sessions.
I mean, it's possible. You could dedicate yourself to it, but you could.
Yeah, we'll not do that then. We'll just forget it.
Well, you still have a mastercraft, large barding demon hide. So write that down in your inventory.
I mean, I guess if it's already there, we'll put it on him, and he'll wear it. He'll just take the disadvantage on everything.
Okay.
Along the side, he's going to etch in a name. He's going to finally give the Star Wolf.
What name are you going to give him?
Scorchwalker.
Ooh. My little puppy Spark.
Scorch. Walker. Is it 2 words or 1?
All one word.
Okay. Excellent. And he now has barding, demon hide, masterwork. Demon hide, barding. I believe that gives him a +2, right? Disadvantage with advantage, so has pack tactics and everything else. So cool. Anything else?
Since we are nearing the end of the session and he likes the Star Wolf, he is going to go about grinding up a ruby to cast a spell upon this barding.
Ooh.
And what is this spell?
It is going to be Continual Flame.
Oh.
Spell continuous flame. Excellence. This hound literally burns like it's on fire. And then we will add continuous flame to its traits.
That's gotta be a bonus to intimidation.
Anything else?
Does the dire wolf enjoy his new upgrades, even though he's not used to them?
That's a good question. Yeah, it seems indifferent. Not really like impressed or not impressed. Like he's been around you for a while, right? So you're part of his pack. So he's kind of like, whatever. He doesn't seem to like enjoy it, and he doesn't seem to hate it. Does that make sense? It seems like a direwolf, just like a normal direwolf.
Like getting a new collar for your dog. They don't really care that much.
Yep, Just like a new color. Just armor sets. Excellent. Excellent. Yes, that happens. And Continue of Flame is a level 2. Are you spending the, was it 100 gold?
It's the 50 gold of ruby dust. Yes, I'll spend the 50 gold of ruby dust. I'll expel one of the rubies to create the spell.
Mark off the ruby and mark off, what is it, 50 gold? No, 100 gold for the spell.
Where's the 100 gold?
It's just the ruby dust.
Are you crafting a magical item? You want this thing to be permanent.
The spell lasts until it's dispelled.
Yeah, but, I mean, it'll come back if it is dispelled. So, are you spending the 100 gold to make it permanent?
Sure.
Excellent. It is permanent now. Permanent. So if it's like dispelled, right? Like if it's a dispelled spell, it might suppress it, right? But it might come back, right? I mean, it will come back just over time. A dispel is cast upon it will return. In 1d4 days. There we go. Permanent. There we go. Awesome. Anything else?
That's it for Ulfgar.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Cool. Scorchwalker like licks you, Ulfgar, right? Now that he has a name. What's in a name? Everything. Everything's in a name.
Ulfgar named him for his bravery and return from death to life after taking all of that fire damage on the ship and coming out of it alive with Ulfgar's help.
Super close. Super edgy. That night, right? What are you guys doing that night? I mean, Ulfgar is clearly making items, casting spells, doing a whole bunch of crap. What are you doing, Ava? Casting lots of spells.
Since the trip started and the adrenaline has died down from their, I don't know, would it be considered a heist?
I would
I mean,
say
we stole
so.
something.
Yeah,
We stole a ship.
This is what is it? Shift that. So it's definitely piracy.
She's sort of been more quiet and introspective than Ulfgar would be used to, not asking as many questions or staring around at everything. Mm-hmm. She's definitely been more
Ulfgar.
Quiet.
Mm-hmm. Without your help, it might have ruined that masterworked collar that's currently around Scorchwalker. Anything else that night? Who's ruling me survival? That's what I want to know. Who would like to roll me survival? As Ulfgar is working away, toiling away. Ava? Would you like to roll that sweet, sweet nighttime?
I guess I will.
Ulfgar is busy.
Oh, we're fine.
Something wonderful happens. Let's see what we got here. There's something wonderful happens. Let's see here.
Do we back up with Kortek, and does his crew become his bandits become part of our?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
What? I did not like that giggle.
Interesting. Well, let's see what you guys do. In the distance, right? Ava, you notice at first there is a small cave. Yeah.
Just a small cave?
A small outcropping on the side of what appears to be a waterway. And in it, you see like a blue reflecting light. In the darkness, you see like a blue reflecting light inside the cave.
So this will be us anchored for the night, because this is a nighttime survival role.
Yeah.
So she'll be on the deck and go down and point it out to Ulfgar.
Ulfgar is busy working away on his armor. So, yeah, I know, right? Just totally distracted, sending messages, doing measurements, naming Scorchwalker. He's doing all types of stuff. Ava, you have this golden opportunity. What do? You see a cave.
Ava sees, and she's the glowing blue.
Yeah.
And if we're anchored for the night, she'll sort of turn to Alu and ask if she would like to explore the cave.
She says if that's what you think is best, Mother. She does as you command.
Yeah, Ava's not going to walk away from a glowing blue cave. So, are there any kind of dinghies or lifeboats or anything?
Don't forget that Alu has control water. At will control water. You can literally just jump down into the water and she will literally lift you up and escort you over.
I guess she'll sort of point out the cave to whoever's on watch in the crow's nest at the moment and inform them that she's
starting to fall asleep, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she'll inform them that she's going to check it out.
Excellent. Did you tell Ulfgar this?
I tried, but he seemed pretty busy.
Ulfgar, is this something that you'd like to put down for a moment and check out and investigate?
It's just a glowing blue cave, and she has backup. Ulfgar will keep working on Scorchwalker.
Excellent.
I guess.
Who are you taking with you, Ava?
I'll take Alu and Spark if he's willing to come with us.
Roll me a handle animal. See if he is willing to come with you.
I would think that's a yes.
Oh yeah. Excellent. Just go ahead and take Ava over here. Then I need to collect everyone. It's going. Let's make sure everybody's at full HP.
So is that the red?
Crazy you guys are going to get. I don't know how crazy you guys are going to get. Okay.
Oh boy, is that red square where I need to go?
Yep. By a full HP. Nope, you're not unconscious. At least not yet. Excellent. Ava, roll me a perception.
Oh, brother.
As you approach the cave.
We all know Ava's perception is very hit or miss. put it lightly.
Excellent. You see like a blue light in the back, right? And it calls to you. It's alluring, very, very beautiful. What do you do?
I'll head forward a little cautiously and tell my companions to follow.
They do so.
And once I'm fully within...
Roll me your perception as you get to
This is gonna go like... Yep. This is gonna do it again, isn't it?
Excellent. Keep proceeding forward.
And once she gets within the mouth of the cave, she'll knock on her helmet and turn on the light.
As you do this, the darkness pulls back and reveals what appears to be a colony of some sort.
Do I see any living beings around?
Oh, they're alive. They're definitely alive. In the darkness, you see them huddling, right? Creatures of all shapes and manners. They appear to be some sort of fungi.
I'll sort of look at Alu and see if does she recognize them?
+5. She says, yes, those right there, those are Machondrids. Those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. But you need to be careful because there's usually a sovereign that rules over them.
I'll ask her if they are friendly.
It depends. I would suggest turning out that light.
Alright, and she'll knock on her noggin again and turn the light.
You knock on the thing, right? And the darkness slowly creeps back in.
Ooh. Creepy.
What do you do?
What is there's a pool in front of me?
Oh, yes.
So I'll sort of cautiously step up towards the pool.
Yes. What do you do, Ava?
I will ask Alu if the water is alright. That's generally her area of expertise.
She says this is a spring of some sort. I think there's like she gets down on all fours and like she sticks her hand into the water, right? And she's like, says like, it's very deep, very cold, very refreshing.
Can you see the bottom?
I think she's like, she says, I cannot see it, but I can feel it.
I see. Is there anything within the spring?
Bum, 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 bum. She says, no, there isn't anything within the spring.
Oh, man. Ava definitely probably hasn't been able to take a proper bath recently and probably has a lot of soot in places she doesn't want soot. If I had to take a guess.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll slowly and carefully reach into the spring and take some water in her hand.
It is cool to the touch. You are near the Silver Mountains, so you know that this is spring-fed from the mountains. This water is pure. And it's
Oh,
cold
boy.
because it's from the mountains.
Um, ugh. She
Roll me perception.
will. My what?
Roll me perception, Ava.
Oh, come on. Come on. Ava. Yup. Good old
Spring
Ava.
has your attention. Amazing.
Ugh.
What do you do with the spring?
Uh, uh, if it's nice, fresh, cold water,
Yeah.
she'll probably, from the mountain spring, she'll probably drink a little bit
It's cool and refreshing.
before starting to try and get clean.
Are you going to take a bath here?
I'm gonna go with yes.
You take a bath. The water is cool to the touch. With Spark and Alu there, nothing seems to bother you.
Yeah, I'd sort of let them come splash in the water if they'd like.
I think there's like little crayfish, right? Little crayfish at the bottom, and I think Spark's like chasing after them and like splashing in the water, right? And Alu's kind of just sitting and like kicking her feet in the water, and her feet kind of like disappear and reappear in the water, right? Because she herself is of liquid form. Yeah, you take a bath. Anything else, Ava?
Do I still see little mushroom people?
No. You haven't seen any of them. The darkness of the cave, Alu kind of points them out to you, but they kind of just look like mushrooms to you. You don't notice them.
If she has any, like, I don't know, a little bit of bread on her or something, she'll sort of put it down and leave it out as an offering. So thank you for letting her use their pool.
You leave a token of bread at the spring. Anything else?
How far can I see into the cave?
Not very far. You're human.
Yeah. I don't think she wants to go on a cave delving adventure just in the night. So she'll leave the token of bread and say a verbal thank you, and she'll head back to the ship or start heading out of the cave.
Excellent. You leave the cave. You feel refreshed, revigorated from the spring. All the soot and grime that was on you is now gone. You make it back to the ship with Alu and Spark's company. Nothing else seems to bother you. Not everything in this world wants to kill you.
Just most things.
Just most things.
So I guess she'll dry off and braid her wet hair and get ready for bed.
Excellent. You sleep well that night, having been refreshed and everything else. You notice the distinct odor of Sellers and Ulfgar and Bert Dog, or Bert Wolf. Your non-smelly appearance draws the attention of everyone as you return, all sparkling and clean. Anything else?
Not really. She'll ask maybe about how they're doing on supplies, especially freshwater supplies.
Mm-hmm. You are literally on a freshwater river.
Okay,
The
yeah,
water here is
so
cooked and boiled before serving.
And Ulfgar can generate enough food for the entire crew and the animal and water to go with it.
Ulfgar is his own little survival thing.
Alright,
You do
so
have
then
supplies, by the way. You do have supplies.
I guess she'll just get ready and go off to bed then.
Excellent. Night passes by uneventfully. Ulfgar, you get a reply back in regards to your question. And the reply goes like this.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Great.
Would you like to read it out loud?
It reads, the undead are no longer at Fort Malgrave. Current location is unknown, but the Knoll Tribes are still causing trouble.
Mm.
He will share this with Ava, but his goal is still to reach Fort Malgrave. He wants to know what the Inquisition was hiding beneath it, and why the exile was excavating underneath.
Ava will agree because when she was at Fort Malgrave, she saw it was the epicenter of the plague. And she has a feeling that if they were to stop it, it has something to do with that location. So she'll agree with the plan.
But this also brings him closer to the assumption that they have already marched within the Elvish lands. He'll tell the crew that we need to be more vigilant on the lookout for bodies laying along the river or along its edge. For that mass of an army, there's not going to be an easy way to conceal their movements for much longer. Especially now that the rains have stopped.
Anything else?
Nothing else for Ulfgar.
The night passes by uneventfully. In the morning, Ava, roll me that sweet survival roll. Yes, I'm liking these rolls so far, Ava. Keep them rolling.
Yeah, that classic Ava perception was at work last night.
See, you're fine. You're fine. It's a normal, pretty day as you guys continue upstream. Go ahead and place yourselves. Everything is perfect. Everything is fine when it's sunny and shining. Everybody's happy. It is clear. It's gorgeous. Absolutely pretty. I need to make a marker.
Oh boy.
I forgot to do that. Oh, that's cute, right there. No, that doesn't work. So, anyways, with the unit, with you guys working together, Ulfgar and Alu easily part the river, right? And you guys continue up with no issues whatsoever. The water's still deep here, right? You're still getting further and further away from the city of Alkaline. No problems, no issues whatsoever. Is anybody doing anything special? Unfortunately, you guys don't get to have extra time tonight, as it did take most of your resources to stay on track today. But what are you guys doing that night?
Has Ulfgar shared his theory that the dead have headed up towards the elves?
He did with Ava.
Ava will definitely be nervous about that because she knows her village is up closer to the land of the elves than it is to the rest of the land of the men. What is... Oh god.
Did you forget where you were from for a second?
No, I was a little interested at our little fungus friend that suddenly appeared on the map.
It's a mushroom cave.
Yeah, so Ava, when she learns that the armies are headed, that Ulfgar thinks the army's headed north towards the elves, she gets even more nervous and pale and quiet than she has been before.
Ulfgar, for that night, is going to talk to Captain and share that he is going to send a message to the spy master, telling him that we are going to be headed that way within the month. Since it's going to take us several days to finish our trek upriver.
Roll me a message with persuasion.
So I've spent the spell slot for the sending. I'm going to roll the persuasion. Does he know at least if the receiver is alive or dead?
The receiver is alive. I already know what the message is going to be before you type it out. But go ahead. Type it out.
Well, what does the captain think we should send ahead, since we're coming as trader and we need supplies?
The captain says, they should be open to us and available. Assuming that the undead haven't overwhelmed the docks.
Should I say that you are accompanying us?
Aye, Captain Brute. You can.
Okay, I will begin typing the message and I'll send it up when it's ready.
Excellent. Ava, right? That night, what are you doing?
She'll definitely be sticking close to Spark, giving him lots of pets just for comfort as she stares a lot at her helmet and thinks about her family. She's definitely very nervous now. But also, in the background, there's a building sense of determination. And she thinks she needs to stop the threat of the dead.
think Lou comes up to you and like sits down next to you, and she's like, "What is it, Mother? What? Why are you so upset?" I can sense it in your emotions. You feel so tense.
Eva will sort of make a really obvious effort to try and relax her shoulders. So now just looks like she's really trying, and compounds anxiety. She'll sigh a little bit and turn to Alu. I come from a village to the north, near the border with the elves. I fear, if that is the way the plague of the dead has gone, that my family may be in danger.
As you're having this conversation, Ulfgar, I need you to roll me an intelligence roll. As Ava describes her home, before all this started, you came across a burnt house.
Interesting.
Oh no!
He will keep that to himself for now.
Okay. Like a sudden sense of dread overtakes you, right? As you recall. We get a flashback. Do you want to tell a little bit about it?
No.
Ulfgar was traveling past the elves to get towards the Fort Malgrave. He came past a farmhouse that was burning. It appeared to have been attacked by gnolls. He saw a lone survivor burying the dead, but there was no reason for him to stop. He did not know of this farmhouse, so he continued on to Fort Malgrave. Some days later, he had sent scouts back to examine the farmhouse, and they reported back that there were no longer any survivors left at that location.
We get this flashback, right? As Ulfgar like shifts uncomfortably. As she's like telling this to Alu, right?
Oh no, and Ava's family and her village had passed, and that was the first thing that gave her a taste for battle. Great.
I love how this is all playing out together.
Oh no.
Circles, surround circles.
It's pretty interesting. Who knew with session, what was it, 4 or 5, that we would have a character from there ending the season? Some 10 sessions later join.
Oh boy. I see that evil little full circle. Oh boy.
But Ulfgar is going to keep that to himself as he finishes his message.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep. Who knew that locations have importances to people's? Huh. Oh. Oh.
So is it just we're hunkering down for the night?
Yeah, as we're waiting for Ulfgar, go ahead and roll me that sweet survival. Ava.
Oh boy. Ziva's Ulfgar staring off, concentrating on sending those messages.
Yep. Talking to random people. Nights passes by uneventfully. That's your reply. Ulfgar.
He shares it with the captain. Asks if he's burned any bridges with the elves the last he met.
He says, no, not that I can think of. Why? What did you learn?
He shares the message. No trades, no deals closed. On the good thing, he's not dead, so that's something.
They might be in mourning.
Let's see. Can I roll a history to see what I remember of Elvish tradition?
Sure, that sounds pretty right. Usually when important people die, usually borders are closed and there's a political game going on. So who's going to be the next archdruid? Who's going to take up the mantle? Right?
Ulfgar still thinks we should proceed up the river.
Disobeying, sure. Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect.
Well, he's not going to say that we should continue all the way up to the docks, but we still have business at Fort Mount. And I suppose Ava should learn what happened to her farmhouse, to her family.
Great.
This seems like it's going to be a roleplay heavy session tonight. Excellent. I'm loving this. Nothing happens that night. The night passes by uneventfully. Nothing good, nothing bad. The river is constant, right? You notice that, like, from the delta, it's been getting slowly more and more narrower as you continue up the river. Noticeably different, right? Noticeably different. It's still wide, but it's not very deep. And the focus is becoming much more intense, right? At the beginning, you had plenty of room to navigate and stuff like that. And now, Ulfgar, it's taking a little bit more focus, right? And Alu, it's taking a little bit more focus to, like, push the water up, right? You realize that it'll get shallower and shallower as you continue forward. The night passes by uneventfully. Go ahead and roll me that sweet survival for the next day. And place yourself. Yep. Survival. Yes. Yeah. Everything's fine. Everything is perfect. It's another sunny day. There's a little bit of clouds. A little bit of clouds sitting there don't hurt nobody. It takes your focus, Ulfgar. Constant, strenuous focus.
Constant vigilance.
Yep. Make sure that there are no debris and stuff in the way. But easily make it through the day, no problems whatsoever. Is anybody doing anything special during that day?
Not particularly, I don't think. Just the tension continues to mount as they approach their destination.
Yep.
And the river continues to get narrower and narrower.
Night approaches, right? Ava, you want to roll me that sweet survival? As night approaches? It's like the numbers keep trickling down lower and lower and lower.
Can Ulfgar try to see if the captain knows anyone who could figure out how to make this pitch?
Sure.
Ah!
Roll me a d6, Ava. He says yes. There is a nice. There is a man at Kingdom. Oh, is it Ravenshaven? There's a man there that's an alchemist, renowned for his knowledge of alchemy.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the man I know of.
of course, that's the man he knows of.
You asked. So thinking of famous people that he knows of, has actually heard of. He says he'll do it, of course, but for a price. The Ravenshaven's always out for gold. That's one reason why I deal with the elves.
Ulfgar nods.
He says, I would suggest others in Alkaline City, but I don't think you want to go back there.
Ulfgar shakes his head and he shows the little writ showing that he has some favor with Ravens.
So interesting. You're a servant of Ravenshaven. That kind of explains a lot.
Ulfgar laughs at this and shakes his head no. And he winks at the captain as he stows away the writ from Ravenshaven.
I think that's when a javelin comes flying overboard. And I think it hits the captain. And roll initiative. You guys realize that you stumbled upon the Knoll Tribes. Gotta go faster. All the way over. Nope. All the way
Gotta go
over.
fast.
Yep. That's
Gotta go fast.
So many things.
Gotta go faster, 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 faster,
I
fast.
should have moved the boat over. That's probably what I should have done. But it's 3 maps that I have to worry about.
Yeah.
In the darkness, a javelin comes flying out and hits the captain.
Thud.
And on the far riverbed, or on the far riverside, you see what appears to be... Oh, no, not that one. That's a different one. That's a different ship. That's a different ship entirely. There we go.
There we go. Home sweet home.
Oh, she's up on the deck.
Who?
She's up there. Everybody's got full HP.
Huh.
Make sure that's your full HP. Is it this one? No, it's the other one. Excellent. Oh, I forgot about that. Yep, definitely going to include that. Ulfgar, Ava, roll me perception as all these javelins come flying in.
Perception, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I will take my passive 17 on this.
Yeah, you see it. You see an earth elemental picking up appears to be some sort of boulder.
Yep.
About the size of you, Ulfgar.
The boulder or the earth elemental?
A boulder.
It's a boulder.
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to hope for a miniature earth elemental.
Oh no. Oh no. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, nope. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll work perfectly. On the shore, right, you see people on the shore. You guys are currently anchored off. It is nighttime. They're approximately 60 feet away, throwing javelins at you. Yeah.
Not a fan.
Not a fan at all. It seems to be an entire Knoll tribe is throwing a bunch of stuff at you. Who wins? That's you guys. Just go ahead and do initiative. Yep.
Whoops.
The normal knolls. There we go. Excellent. There we go. And then the heroes are important. 1, 2, 3, 4. Earth Elemental 5.
Ugh.
6. Wow. Okay. top, bottom. Let's see here. Is a 6 plus hers. It's 7. Excellent. And Braves. Spear. Oh, Braves have longbows.
Oh, do they?
Yep, they have +2, so it's only a 2. And then Blood Moon. Interesting. Ulfgar, you see a familiar axe shining in the distance. You see a familiar axe. +2. He rolled 17, beat 19. Villagers. You see like an entire pack of them. They're all like throwing javelins and shit, right? One of them is lucky enough to hit. You guys do receive cover, by the way. Oh no, that's 13. I got 2 Knoll Braves. I must have 2 of them down. Okay. Earth Elemental should be slow as shit. Yeah. Interesting. Deals double damage to structures. My 19. Wow, he's got. And then we already doubled that, and then doubled that, and then Twin Moon. +1. Need 14. All right, descending. Top of the round. You all see this giant boulder come flying by and slam into the craft. That's actually, you have a boulder. Despite the metal of the ship, it rocks back and forth against the massive slam.
That's gonna leave a dent.
It does. It leaves a serious dent as the ship takes double damage from what appears to be its ability to be a siege attacker. It's Blood Moon's turn. He's going to use his javelin. It's a +8 to this. He has a lovely selection here. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up, down, left to right. 1, 2. Oh, your poor wolf. Your poor wolf's getting targeted. And that's a hit. How much damage is that?
That's a hit even with the +2 of his.
Yes.
He has a +8 to hit.
Yep.
Oh, holy crap.
So remember that you also have a +2 bonus. You have partial cover.
So the direwolf currently has 18 AC, but even with a +8, it's going to hit.
2d8 +6. 2d6 +6.
Oh, yeet.
Take 14 points of damage. Scorch Walker. Ulfgar, it's your turn. On the shore, you see them like tossing javelins and stuff like that. At the ship. What do you do, Ulfgar? You see the giant elemental just reaching over and grabbing like another chunk of everything. Mud, dirt, everything. You know that the most devastating thing to the ship is the earth elemental. However, the most dangerous things isn't the earth elemental itself. It's probably the numerous gnolls and spellcasters that are on board. Well, on the far side. They're currently 60 away. You guys are currently anchored.
He commands the crew to turn the cannons upon the gnolls and to fire upon them. He is going to focus on the earth elemental.
Roll me initiative, or initiative for the crew. It will count as the cannons.
Ooh.
Ugh. Okay. 8. Descending. What do you do, Ulfgar, as you're focusing on the earth elemental? What is it that you do?
He is going to toll the dead as he tries to hunker down with the tower shield.
Excellent. What save is that? It's a charisma, right?
It's a wisdom, I think.
Yeah.
It's wisdom. Give me a second here. Wisdom plus 0. It does not make it.
So it takes 15 points of necrotic damage.
Excellent. This is interesting. Anything else, Ulfgar?
I think that's all he can do at this range for now.
Excellent. Twin Moon. See what she can do. Ulfgar, roll me a wisdom saving throw. Let's make sure that's right. You are not charmed as she casts a spell upon you, and you easily overcome.
I also, I would have advantage if it was a charm effect.
It is a charm effect.
So he's super not charmed.
So he's super not charmed. No villagers. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are going to be shooting at Ulfgar. Ulfgar, like you're on top of this wolf, right? Riding this wolf, and they're just all like, and they start chucking their spears at you. You get 5 attacks on you. 1, 2.
Ooh.
Is that a crit? Holy crap, that is a crit.
I'm telling you, your 1 HP minion kill us.
These aren't 1 HP though. They have a +4.
Oh.
They have +4 to hit. So 2 of them hit. Don't forget you have a +2 to your AC.
So he has currently a 24 AC. So
1 hits.
Yeah, the crit should be the only thing that hits.
Awesome. Let's see here. 1d8 + 1. Take 3 points of damage as this arrow pierces your flesh. Ava, it's your turn.
Since they are anchored and Alu's not holding the ship up, she'll turn to her and tell her to sweep them away down the river on the bank.
Okay, we'll go ahead and roll me initiative for Alu. This is at a +5.
Oh, Alu.
She wasn't ready for this, Mom. She wasn't ready for this. Anything else, Ava?
Oh boy, I'll whip out the old longbow.
Who are you shooting?
Can I tell who looks the most dangerous?
If you come up here, you can see who all is currently on the side of the river.
That doesn't look great.
Away. Yep. It seems to be like a whole pack of gnolls have come down upon you. Don't worry, it could have been a lot worse.
How?
We could have had a pack of wyverns descend upon us.
Or the Inquisition.
Really, we just gotta take out the elemental, but you don't want to take out the elemental, you want to leave that to Ulfgar.
Just show whip the whip.
Okay. Go ahead and fire. That's a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
sweet damage. 5. Yep.
the second one, 11.
16. Anything else? Do you have 3 attacks, by the way?
No, I had 2.
All right.
I must have accidentally
your 2
double
arrows
clicked.
slam into this creature, yet it is still up. Let me ask you a question, guys. Let me ask you a question. Are the cannons loaded?
What would be
Yes, the cannons would have been loaded. We've been expecting an ambush all along this river.
Roll me 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. What is he? Roll me 36 die 6.
Holy God.
In a horrifying blast of napalm, fire, and ash and dust, the ship unloads, right? Just these gnolls have never encountered this before, and they never will again, as it literally obliterates them.
Oh.
You broadside them. Mark off 3 ammunition as these guys literally turn to ash and dust. The elemental, right? Well, the elemental might be still standing. We'll see.
But does he have fire resistance?
Let me check. No. Bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, immunities to poison, immunities to exhaustion, paralyzation, petrification, poison, and unconsciousness. It has the potential, right? It has the potential to make a dex save at -1. You literally broadside them, right? And they literally are a problem. No more. I think everybody's like jaw dropped, right? As you just unleash this torrent of hell. You saw them like chucking and throwing like javelins and stuff like that, and then just all of a sudden, and you've seen one, right? You've seen one, but this is an entire broadside as the crew just like take it and just, and it literally becomes a problem. No more.
Ulfgar tries
3
to
rounds
ride.
of ammunition.
Ulfgar tries to rally the crew. As it is stunning, he shouts out that their location has now been clearly marked. They need to reload and continue to stay vigilant as the ship needs to continue to be on its way. Trying to frantically get the crew back up into their duties. Ulfgar realizes that they need to still keep moving. They're not safe yet.
Do we leave the fire burning, or?
Oh, the fire's definitely burning.
Or do
had
we?
an entire broadside just unleash hell.
Well, I'm asking Ulfgar if he wants us to leave it burning, or to put it out.
Ulfgar shrugs. If there's a way that Alu can put it out, put it out. If not, we still need to keep.
So anything that was on that edge, right, just literally just disappears as the broadside just unleashes hell upon it. That Knoll Tribe, all that equipment and stuff like that just disintegrates. It's absolutely horrifying as you see like gnolls like jumping into the water, still burning, but they crinkle up and die due to the intensity of the flames. The elemental, right, Ulfgar? You know how powerful how powerful earth elementals are, and you quickly realize how devastating this machine of war is, and why the Inquisition developed it as such. Markov 3 ammunition.
Oof. So that's 45
Yes.
now.
That's how many? I thought we start off with 10.
You start off with 50, and 50 rounds.
Oh, 50 rounds. Okay. That's a lot better than I thought. We're doing good then.
This is a warship. You're literally emptying like jugs of oil, right? And then pressurizing it, and then unleashing hell. So you now have 45 rounds left. You guys push on, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Ulfgar rallies. How's the captain doing? Is the captain? Or is he still okay?
He was injured, right? He's got an arrow currently embedded within his shoulder, right? They were trying to kill him, and the arrow slammed into his shoulder. Like he's bleeding out on the deck, right?
Ulfgar will mend his wounds.
Excellent.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, that's kind of strange music. We might come back to that. If you guys roll above a 20 again. We'll see though.
Ulfgar is also going to have the wolf drag the stone below deck. He's going to help the wolf drag the stone below deck.
That's a great question. Give me a second here. I have to look this up real fast. I don't think the... What's your strength, Ulfgar?
Yeah, but doesn't Ulfgar have...
Ulfgar's
ability?
strength is 16, and he does have these spells to kind of manipulate this rock to roll itself down if he needs to.
Yeah, so it's embedded within the the actual structure of the warship, right? So there's like literal ton of rock just like a catapult would have, right? It did a dent, but you can see that it landed on the deck and did no structural damage to below deck. You think you'd be okay. However, the ship did take some damage.
Right. But he wants the actual boulder below deck.
The boulder goes below deck with you. I'm curious on what you're going to do with the boulder down below.
Well, I mean, he is a dwarf. He just wants to.
He has his reasons. I mean, you know,
I like to talk to spirits and talk to rolling rocks.
he has the mold earth spell. He has some other handy spells that have to do with stone. He hasn't had to use yet. He has his reasons.
Crazy ass dwarf. Well, I mean, you unleashed hell, so you got rid of 3 kegs of oil. So I don't know if that's the same amount as a boulder, but it seems like it would be. 3 cases of oil. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, we are back on Overland map. You guys said you wanted to push yourselves. Sounds like night travel. Taking a level of exhaustion to get away from the scene.
Seems like the best course of action.
But at the same time, Ava would be the one in charge of rolling navigation for the night, while Ulfgar works with disadvantage.
Is that something that you wish to do?
I mean,
Nope.
Ava would want to push on, but if Ulfgar does, she trusts his expertise enough.
Ulfgar is going to make sure that we have plenty of lookouts as we prepare the night. And Ulfgar will roll survival for us for tonight.
So it's already passed, right? You have to worry about tomorrow. That was for tonight, that encounter.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, we will worry about tomorrow then.
So are you guys going to bed?
Yes.
Excellent.
But we make sure there are plenty of watches set up.
Of course, of course.
Hopefully with better perception than Ava.
We'll see. In the morning, right? I think the fire is like starting to die down, or at least flow down river. You like look out and you still smell the smoke and the burnt flesh, still crispy on the corner of the river. Yeah.
That night after the blaze, Ulfgar is going to send another message to Ravenshaven.
What message are you sending?
The Knolls are dead.
Okay. You might roll an intelligence roll.
Okay. Rolling an intelligence roll first.
Yes. Yeah, that was one tribe.
And there was no survivors
But there
to tell the
were
tale.
the captains of all the other 3 tribes.
And now they're in disarray.
He will still send his message,
Okay.
but does he know that those were the leaders of the other tribes, like the leaders that he's seen leading and speaking for the other tribes at the...
Yeah, you're fairly... Well, actually, roll me an intelligence roll. See if you know, if you remember his true character. Because now they're just a burning husk. You're not quite sure what's going on. Oh, yeah, those were the leaders. Those were the leaders.
He's going to send this one to Bar the Hunter.
Interesting.
I will type it up then, since this is going to be a little bit more tricky than I thought.
I was expecting a bit of combat, but I guess this works too.
Well, you got to shoot your bow. Hey,
Yeah.
I gave you a
You
single
actually
weapon.
landed something. You actually hit something with your bow.
And the one time it didn't matter.
I mean, didn't it, though? I mean, what if, like, one had misfired?
Yeah. Wouldn't that have been embarrassing? Only
It's fine.
what?
It's fine. Like
So 120 divided by 3 would be 40. Yeah, only 80 damage instead of 120. How embarrassing.
That's what happens when you unleash 3 fireballs. I think Ava and Ulfgar need to roll me perception. Right?
Those words never give me comfort.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to take my passive, but I'll roll for this one.
Ulfgar, right? In the fiery furnace that was unleashed, right? Last night, you saw one figure walk away.
Was it... Does he recognize the figure?
They just have glowing eyes. I think it's
Was it his buddy? Let me look up what his name was.
Wolfie McGee.
No, I know. There was
Oh no.
a walking ghost. It was a walking ghost who survived.
He died in the fiery furnace.
Then who could have possibly?
Roll me intelligence, Ulfgar. You're the only one that met him. Oh my goodness gracious, what is going on?
Oh. Ulfgar really is focused on his rock.
What'd you roll, Ulfgar?
4.
Yeah, you don't remember who that was. But there was one that just walked away. Oh no, I think I'm crashing. It is. There we go. I'm back. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. I'm back. Yeah, not sure what happened. It was an armored gnoll. With a familiar axe.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Then he knew. He would know.
Okay.
That axe would be a dead giveaway if he was still holding that axe.
Oh, yes.
Dead giveaway.
Remember who it was?
Ava doesn't. Her first encounter with the Knolls ended with almost being buried alive.
Yes, that was Blood Moon, the war chief, who survived. The primary one who wanted to go on the war march across the Golden Plains to be.
Do you remember who he served?
Blood Moon didn't serve anyone. It was Weeping Fields who served the exile.
Yes. But, oh, never mind. You don't speak no. That's right.
I don't speak no.
That's right. Never mind. Well, one walks away. One literally walks away unscathed.
He's an Inquisition agent. If he's unscathed, he's got to be.
I'll tell you right now, no, he is not.
Oh, well, then that would change. I would specify in the message who it was. Instead of just saying one survivor, I would have said Blood Moon survived.
Okay. Put that down. Rewrite that message. I forgot about that. He's a servant of someone. I forgot about that. Yeah. Ava, what are you doing during this time? Yeah. I assume you were sleeping?
Yeah, but not restfully, very fitfully after that display.
It's rotten, nasty smell. Smell of burnt flesh. It's a terrible, horrible odor. And
She's
fur.
definitely twitchy about pinning a target on their backs after that.
Well, the targets were already on our backs as soon as you escaped from the Knoll Tribe and we fought against them. The target has always been on our backs.
Well,
As
I
we go
mean,
along, we're getting more and more targets on our backs.
the smoke signal, I mean, is a directly where it lets them know exactly where we are. Or at least where something huge went down.
In the distance, you see what appears to be growing smaller and smaller. The Iron Citadel.
So do I get a response from Bar the Hunter?
Did you edit it? Did you send me a message?
I'll send you the edited version. But yeah, I did. What down there is basically what I said. I just
Okay. Let me, Are you trying to... Ava? Or,
Yeah.
Leah? What's that? Are you trying to click something?
Oh no, that was me tapping to the music.
Oh. Okay. And that's what you get in reply. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, it's getting close. It's like I could have said a little bit more, but it's little server, little blips.
Oh, brother.
Do you have enough for that? No, don't have enough for that. Maybe with abbreviations? Nope, that won't work either. Okay, all right, nope, can't tell you that either. It's like, oh, it's so short. It's not like it's an entire sentence or anything. Like, I can't tell you anything more. You're like, yeah, that's what. I think Alu's like crying, right? After seeing such horrible devastation unleashed, right?
Yeah, Ava's a little shell-shocked as well.
She says, like, did it have to come to that, Mother?
I don't know. I know that they were going to die, or we were, but I didn't expect it to end like that.
I don't think they did either. This thing is horrible and dangerous.
I think, for the moment, it serves a purpose, but after that, after the dead are defeated, I don't think it is something that is long for this world.
What do you mean, Mother?
Without the stone, it will sink.
Will it?
You know, when Ulfgar removed it during the battle, that it started to sink.
She says, even now, without my magic holding it up, it will become stranded. It does not erase its existence.
No, but it'll make it much harder for anybody to use or access it.
Just as existing in it, it's terrible. It's horrible. Why would they develop such a terrible device?
The Inquisition likes control. And for them, this was the ultimate method to enforce that control. As far as I've come to experience them.
She slowly nods her head and she says, How do you feel?
This weapon is more terrible than anything I have yet seen. And once we have used it to defeat the dead, I think I will vouch for its disassemblage or being sunk.
I think she wipes away a tear and she's like, I don't think that will be the end of it, Mother.
No. And Ava sort of is thinking about the prototype sapphire they found.
You still have it, by the way.
Yeah. And how the Inquisition slowly inching forward, making artificial means to read these ships.
She says it takes life to make life.
Yeah. And Ava will sort of shake her head. Because though she comes from a town that mainly subsides on hunting, they hunt to make their living, not to steal life to domineer over. So she sort of is contemplating this and sort of thinking about the terrible power this has created and what someone who wields this could go on to do. Especially, she knows, with the leanings of the Inquisition and their ethnic beliefs. So she's sort of going to take the evening in quiet. Now that she's seen the power of this vessel, what the Inquisition could possibly have been planning to do with it.
Anything else that night? Well, actually, it's morning, right? Did you guys stay up or not? That's my question.
We slept, and so now we're ready to set off in the morning.
Excellent. Roll me that sweet, sweet survival. As you leave the dark ashes behind you.
Is it me?
Mm-hmm. Now that you have such power. Yeah, it's another wonderful day. It's a nice cool breeze, right? The water is wispy and cool, right? The sun gently kisses your skin as you slowly make your way up the river. Go ahead and place yourselves. Excellent. Are you guys doing anything special? Unfortunately, you guys don't have any free time. Once again, you didn't roll above a 20, so you guys didn't get any good stuff. But it's still a lovely day. It's nice. And the dark thoughts that you left behind still burn behind you. But you push forward, confident in your abilities. That night, what are you guys doing?
I think Ava would sort of seek out the sapphire and slowly question Ulfgar if he thinks that they were getting close, I guess, to recreating the power of the stone.
Ulfgar shrugs. He's never heard of anyone being able to manufacture a tier of the ancient dragons like this before.
Well, we've never heard of anybody manufacturing a ship quite like this before, either.
He agrees that the young children of humanity are becoming more brave, more power hungry. But this is no different than it was in times past. Humans have always been greedy for power.
At this point, Ava can't quite
instinctually reaches into his pocket, right?
I don't know, I guess Ava will shake her head and frustrated will examine the stone for any kind of wisdom she can glean from.
Sure, roll me knowledge arcana. Ulfgar, that's really good. Do you want to tell her a little bit about it?
About the manufactured tier or the real tier?
Yes. I think she starts bouncing off theories of you, all right? And I'm curious on what Ulfgar tells her. Does Ulfgar share or rebut any of her ideas?
Well, she doesn't roll high enough to know anything important.
But she seems to definitely be on the right track.
He tells her that there's not much use in looking too much. He'll explain a little bit of the history of the item, of the tier, but that's going to be it. And he's going to ask to hold on to the manufactured item to make sure that doesn't fall in the wrong hands.
So what specifically about your items do you tell her? Or do you just be fairly generic?
He
Regards.
very generic. He explains that many civilizations throughout the ages have sought these items that are similar to this gem. That the particular one is very important to the dwarven race. That's why he's guarding it. And that he's not the only one who is looking for them. He nods towards the manufactured stone, that clearly the humans saw value in it. That they've had to have infused some sort of powerful magic if it was going to be at all. But he doesn't see how that's possible.
Yeah, it's not possible at all.
Boy.
But just to be safe, he should hold on to it to make sure that no one can storm the ship and take this item and
Can you
produce
roll
another.
persuasion for that?
Well, first off, Ulfgar's currently not deceiving you, right?
No, I know.
Right. So, however, he is being specifically not very specific in his tones. It's very vague, right? Very generalized. It's like, well, it could be this, or it's also that.
Well, Ava's first, yeah. Ava will tell him that she wants to look into it more to see how it was possible for the Inquisition to manufacture an item that closely mirrored your ancient stone. So she'll want to hold on to it for now.
Ulfgar shrugs and says, if you find anything to let him know. And then he scoffs at the stone that it is a defective reproduction anyway.
I think that's the end of that scene, right? Keep your secrets. How is Ulfgar feeling about this, by the way?
He's starting to get a little frustrated at all of the prying into this item. He still is a stubborn dwarf and doesn't believe that there's anything that can compare to the original. But if it is ever revealed that it has anything close to the power of the main stone, he will need to obtain it to safeguard it from others, just as he has with his other things he has obtained and safeguarded.
Excellent. I think night approaches, right? It's a beautiful day. Guys are having conversations down below. Night approaches. Ava, could you do me the honors of rolling that sweet, sweet survival?
What, Ulfgar can't do it at night?
No, he's busy. Sending messages, and yeah, it's fine. Everything is fine, Ava. I don't know what you're worried about. I don't know why you're worried or concerned. The night passes by uneventfully, and in the morning you guys are refreshed, revigorated. Everything's loaded up and ready to get going. Are you guys doing anything special that night?
Ulfgar is going to send another message.
Excellent. Who are you sending this message to?
The exile.
Which one?
The dwarven exile who is raising the undead army.
Damn.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm curious on what this message is going to be. Are you going to tell Ava about this message?
Nope. He is going to find some time, like secret it away. If he has to, he's got other methods to make it extra secret, so no one knows that he's doing this.
Excellent. Are you going to message me via Discord?
Yes, I will.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
This is going to be private messaging in D&D.
Interesting. What is Ava doing that night? Ulfgar's getting all dark and mysterious, casting spells and rituals and stuff. What's Ava doing?
I guess she'll sort of just be she knows Alu said something about taking life to create life. So she'll ask her what she meant.
I think this is like where she's like, everything must eat, right? Everything must consume.
Such is the way.
She like nods in agreement. She says it's very natural. There's nothing more natural than that. Takes something to make something, doesn't it?
Very true. So, but this stone was not made naturally.
Interesting. Do you show it to Alu?
Yes.
Oh, I have to go look at something real quick.
No.
Oh.
Why am I terrified?
Interesting. She says, Mother, I don't want to touch that.
Abe will almost laugh at this, while you just exhale through your nose and say, I don't particularly want to either. Because this stone was a step towards being able to create more, even a fleet of these ships.
It takes life to create life. She repeats.
On a scale greater or faster than happens in the natural world.
That's not natural.
Ava will sort of look at it again. Squinting. Probably won't get a good roll. Yeah, just squint at it and shake her head.
The mysteries of the universe elude you, Ava.
She's definitely even more uncomfortable. Definitely thinks that maybe the Inquisition were dabbling in beyond their ken. If this object is so anathema to a fae.
Ava, the stone in your hand feels cold. Unnaturally so.
Ooh. Yeah, she'll sort of put it away in a pocket in her armor. More on like the inside. And she'll settle down to sleep for the night.
Excellent. Roll me survival as the night. Oh, you've already done it.
Yeah.
That's already passed by uneventfully. Nothing of note took place. I will message you after that. Go ahead and roll me another survival as day approaches.
Oh.
Nice. Something good happens. Interesting. Oh, something good does happen. In the distance, you see what appears to be some sort of, roll me knowledge arcana.
Everybody or just me?
Everybody. Ulfgar? A large flying creature from the east approaches. Correction, a huge flying creature from the east approaches.
Does it look draconic?
Yes.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
You guys currently can't identify it due to what appears to be mist covering it. It seems to be approaching the smoke and debris from the what appears to be day behind you guys.
Ava will look to Spark and Arlo to see if they're discomforted.
Let's see here. Alu. The mist covers her vision as well. You guys aren't quite sure what this creature is, but it clearly descends a day behind you.
What about Spark? Does he look ready to bark at it, or is he fine?
Spark barks at it, right? But it's so far away that it doesn't hear it, or everybody's like pointing at it, like, "Oh, what is that? Oh my gosh!" Nobody can identify it, however, as the unnatural mist fog kind of blocks its view. It descends a day behind you.
Ulfgar
Clearly flying.
This is a reminder.
is clearly a little unsettled by this, and he tells the crew to keep vigilant eye for any other mist clouds that may be approaching either from behind or ahead of us. He thinks he knows what it is, but he's not quite sure.
Roll me percentage dice. Just delete that. There we go. Interesting. Yeah. The day continues uneventfully as you guys continue forward. That night, what do you guys do?
I guess we've gotten into a bit of a routine. Point.
I love it.
Eva will go about her business and maybe take a peek at the unnaturally cold stone,
Sure.
but probably won't figure much out.
Ulfgar, would you like to tell her just a little bit more?
She didn't roll high enough. She doesn't know anything more.
18. I'm sure she knows some 18 stuff.
That's a 19.
On my thing, she doesn't. She's got to roll higher than that.
All right. She figures a few things out.
I already
on
told her
her
the
own.
15 stuff.
Yeah, on her own. She's like figuring stuff out on her own. Ulfgar, this is without your assistance, right? Let's bring up that sweet, sweet. Let's see here. Okay, that's a 20. Don't know that.
Yeah, because all the stuff on mine says that she's got to roll a 20.
Yeah, that's all you know, Ava. Apparently, that's all you know.
It's a mythical stone of legend. What thing did I identify?
It's a sapphire.
Yes.
Interesting. Pretty sure Ulfgar already knew that, but he's starting to realize now it's not going to have the same effects as the one that he had. Say Sapphire.
Yeah, I guess Ava will settle down for the night.
Ulfgar is going to speak with Ava and Alu.
So I guess Ava will be like staring at it intently, and she'll hear a footstep. She'll look over her shoulder and see Ulfgar approach.
Like a heavy footstep, right? Like
he's not trying to conceal his identity at all.
Yeah. Alu kind of looks at you, Ulfgar, and it kind of shivers, right?
He smiles at this. I see you're getting a greater grasp upon your abilities. Tell me, young one, do you know why they stare at you? Why so many stare at your presence? Notice you've been having trouble with them lately.
She says you don't. You're cold, distant. Anything but those stones draw your attention. Why are you here?
Ulfgar glances down at the stone in Ava's hand.
Does he say anything?
He shifts his focus back to Alu. Tell me, does your mother know why they stare at you so? Have you told her, or have you realized?
She looks at her mother.
I assumed it was some kind of allure from her nature.
Ulfgar chuckles at this. I suppose you could say that, lass. She has a charming aura to her. It's magic, you see. My kin have a harder time being charmed by such magics, but the common man does not. These humans are easily enthralled. He turns to Alu. Do not be disheartened by this, child. This is a gift that you can learn to use to your advantage or your mother's. You should see it as a gift and not a curse. And what else has your mother taught you of this world that you have been born into?
She's taught me many things.
Is there anything you still wish to know? At this point, he glances down again at the stone in Ava's hand.
I think as you're like staring down at the stone, like she reaches over to Spark, right? And she's like, I would like to know where the best itchy spots are.
Ah.
And I think she like scratches behind the ear, and the Feyhound like leans into her, right?
Since Ulfgar knows about Feyhounds, he will show her and tell her a little bit more about Spark.
Do you give Spark belly rubs?
He will. He's been rather distant to the Fey dog and the Fey in general, but seeing as how they've both become attached to Ava, and Ava is now attached to something else, he will make the effort.
I need you to roll me a persuasion. because Ava has trained the dog to not to bark at men who are staring at Alu and getting too frisky with them. So there's like a dilemma here, right? Between so you need to roll a persuasion or a handle animal or whichever you like.
They're the same. They're the same stat, but for the sake of it, I'll roll animal handling.
Okay.
Since I have bad luck with persuasion.
All right.
Oh God.
So this is where Ava's training, right? Natural 20 kicks in. As you're like trying to approach, right? I think your hand like slips and like slides against Alu, right? And that's where he's like, right? So he gets like this training of trying to protect Alu from strange men, and you've been distant, and you're a strange man. So you get this kind of grr, right? This off-settling, back behind, hair stands up behind, right?
Ulfgar smiles at this, and he turns to Ava. I see you've taken my advice and started to train the dog.
Ava will sort of casually reach out and grab Spark's collar to make sure he doesn't make any kind of a lunge.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a handle animal, Ava, because you're trying to train it not to do what it's supposed to do.
Well, I wasn't trying to tell him to do anything. I would just grab onto him.
Just like that. But he's still kind of as aggressive towards poor Ulfgar, who's kind of like staring at Alu now, right? Which he normally doesn't do, right? He's not mesmerized, not beguiled by her at all. But now he is, right?
Ava will be a little annoyed, but...
That two-edged sword. Chop, chop.
Yeah.
Chop. Yep.
He'll say, I've been creating countermeasures to ensure Alu's safety. And I think it's going well. He just...
That's the dog more.
still a little rough around the edges.
Ulfgar nods. But alas, this will not end. Alu, I don't believe, has the ability to stop projecting this aura that she does. It will not stop.
Well...
But I don't believe she has anything to fear. Once they're under her aura, once they become beguiled and charmed by her, they will not even think of harming her.
That's comforting at least, but I'd rather they not stare so...
That is the nature of this magic. She will always have the weight of the eyes upon her.
I think this is where we get a shot of Ulfgar's eyes, who are like dark, right? Are they glowing?
No, Ulfgar is not using any of his magic right now to speak with them.
Right. What does his normal eyes look like, right?
Let's see. He normally has dark gray eyes.
His dark gray eyes, right? Scan over Alu's watery figure.
Ava will inwardly sigh, but try not to, show it too much in the outside.
And we'll be men.
You notice, though, that Ulfgar is staring more at the gem in your hand than paying attention to the two of you.
Wink. Gotta have the right baubles. Gotta have the right baubles. Baubles and trinkets. Yeah. So, I mean, is this obvious, right? This is pretty obvious that you are...
Should I do a perception roll?
Oh, no, this is clearly obvious. Like, he stated it, right? Like, he's... The old man of Ulfgar is having no effect on him. He is focused and driven.
Well, Ava will sort of cock her head. You did say the stone had a connection to your people. Does that extend beyond simple history? Or does it have some kind of physical effect?
Ulfgar kind of chuckles at this. Alas, my people value these items, but it has no effect on a dwarf than an effect on any other. He looks at Alu, and then back to the stone. My people value these. They're signs of importance. They have played a large role in dwarvish culture.
I think Alu continues to scratch the ears of poor Spark, right? Who's currently growling at Ulfgar.
Even to the point of a false stone draws you so?
I admit my curiosity at this facsimile has been piqued. And he turns to Alu. As he puts his finger... oh wait, she's not paying attention to him, so...
I mean, he's not paying attention to her, right?
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, he's going to nod to Ava and go back to, I guess, his side of the room, sort of say. Go back to what he was doing. As he walks away, he takes another glance over his shoulder at that gem in her hand.
I think that's when we hear, like, a cry from above, and it's, Dragon! And that's when we end this
What?
scene. And that's when we
Ulfgar
end the episode.
sighs and nods.
Son of a... Come on!
Yes. Yes. That's how this scene ends. Wave goodbye to the audience at home.
Oh, God.
Bye.
I thought next time was supposed to be the second to last episode.